ZomChris here, and welcome back to UHC Tips and Tricks episode 3. Last episode we covered gathering supplies, and the episode before that we did settings, and this episode we are going to cover basically everything, take everything we did before and implement it into the ravine that we found. Now, as I said, we were going to go into the cave, get full iron and all of that. Well, I turned off mobs just to be able to demonstrate a bit more. I might do it with mobs on after, like a quick run through, because I'm not going to gather any of this iron. I'm just going to show you how you can safely do it without taking damage. Whether it be a skeleton, I'll take a spawn egg and spawn in. You may see a bunch of things in my inventory. I'll explain that in a second. So I watched my episodes over again from the previous episodes, and I just kind of rethought a couple things to help you guys out a little bit more than I did last time. So basically, as I said last time, basic starter stuff, but I just made the tools. So basically, to make all this plus one furnace, you would you'd only need 17 cobblestone to make all these tools and a furnace. This would be exactly enough. And well, like, you would be able to get that from something like this. You wouldn't necessarily have to go in a cave. You would just do this, dig down, get the cobblestone, dig this out, and then come back out and go to the ravine. By that, you would have the starter tools and all that. As I said in the last episode, 10 feathers, 1 leather, and 3 sugarcane is the bare necessity of what you would need to do. If you're running out of time, usually if you're playing a Reddit UHC, there's a certain amount of time until PvP is on. You want to have all these starter supplies before PvP is on, or you'll be stuck and maybe taken out. So these are the starter supplies you definitely want to have: 3 apples, 10 feathers, 1 leather, 3 sugarcane. You want to have cooked pork chops. I just had that for demonstration. I would, this coal or charcoal that you get in a cave would determine like how fast you need it and if your hunger is going down. Once again, you could have starter food, so you may not even need to get this food. If you only get like 2 pork or something like that, I would suggest killing all these animals and all that. But if you are getting these supplies quite quickly, like something I usually would do if I'm in team or solo, I would chop down the trees and go and get the feathers, and I would go try to get a higher amount. And the same with leather and sugarcane. This provides 3 books, so basically 1 book for the enchantment table if you do get the enchantment table, and then 2 books to enchant level 1. I'll get into that later on as far as books, enchanting, the best thing you can do. And then I got 24 wood. I did say that in the previous episode that 24 was the recommended amount, but you can live off of 14 planks if you use it correctly. And then I'll get into the rest of the stuff in my hotbar. So basically, when we come right here, that's not what you want to do. I forgot I was in creative for a second. So basically, you come from a spawn, you dig down, you would make sure you can fall 3 blocks without taking damage. So right here, it would be safe. It would not be safe to go like this and fall down here. You would take damage, and it would be not a great start. So you just want to take it nice and slow, 2 blocks at a time if you wish. You can even go 1 block at a time like that and dig down to the iron. You get this iron. This is about like 3, 4. I think this is like 6. This looks like it's 5 vein. Let me just put that back there where I can demonstrate later on how to get it a less easy way. So after you were to get this, you could go down here. So I'll put that back there. You could go down here. If there's mobs across here, I would suggest getting some cobble, like this with your pickaxe, and then putting it down like this, and then making it a bit more safe for you to traverse through here. Now, if there was no mobs, I wouldn't suggest jumping into the water, even if there wasn't any mobs on the 2nd layer, 3rd layer, or this layer. But, I mean, in certain scenarios, if there's no mobs and you can make it, I'll get into that in a second, but you would get this iron. You could see that it wasn't like there's nothing under it, so you could do something like this with the cobblestone you got. Get the iron. And by then, I think that's about 3, and that was 5, so 8. Around there, I would make a chest piece. I wouldn't quickly go into tools. You want to get armor first, and you don't want to jump off like I just did, of course. And if you feel that's not safe enough, and you feel like you always can place cobble, you have unlimited cobble around you, and you have wood to make more pickaxes in case your pickaxe breaks. I would go along this. If there's mobs, since this is a dark area, I wouldn't go this far into the cave yet. This is probably the breakoff point of how far I would go. but knowing that there's light time, if it's still daytime, it's usually safe. There's no like any iron on this level, so I would dig down, of course, staircasing, not flying, obviously, and come down here, try to get down here safely as possible, like that. I would get this iron. This is about 8, so that is enough for pants, and work on your boots. In armor, you want to do basically, if I can find it, you want to do chest piece, leggings, boots, then helmet. Boots and helmet do the same protection. Chest piece does it the most, and iron do the second. So you want to do that in order in most protection. Like I would suggest doing your iron sword, iron pickaxe afterwards, not before you have full armor, because if a skeleton or something attacks you can take less damage if you, like, I don't know, if you block with like a creeper and you have full iron, it's only gonna do half hard depending on how close, and all that. If you have no armor but iron sword, yeah, you'll do more damage, but you also take more damage. Now at this point you can decide whether to block, like go up like this and block this off and then come back for it later. Usually I would waste the iron. I know I just said preserve the iron for armor, but if there's just water source, doesn't really look like there's any more water around, I would usually get this if I had the iron, because it comes in handy. Like say you fell, you could water and you wouldn't take any damage. Or if there's lava, you're falling into lava, or you accidentally step in lava, you have water to put down the minute that happens. Now once you're to this level, I would like being the daredevil I would go around here, probably ride the stream. If there's no mobs, looks pretty safe, come down here quickly, staircase up, and maybe do this. I would just do it like that, and then I would do this. So in case a mob shot at me, I could just run back here, go in here, go like this. Say there's a skeleton, he walks right outside. You could go down 2 blocks from the 2 that you placed, and the skeleton's feet are going to be right there. As long as their face can't see yours, you should be safe. So in that scenario, you'll be fine. A creeper, you really don't have to worry about in this situation. They can't blow up unless you get like right up here. But as long as you're right here and hitting, they cannot mess with you. Same with skeleton and all that. As long as their face doesn't see you, they can shoot. Even if a skeleton shoots, if it's at right there, it most likely will get stuck on there. And in the case of that, the arrow would be stuck in there. You break that block after you kill the skeleton, it'll fall down, and then you can get back out. And then you have this iron, 8 iron, enough to make boots. To get full iron, you need 32 iron. I would suggest getting 35 for a sword, or even this is enough for a pickaxe. I counted before the episode started enough, so 32 iron would be more than enough for full iron and your tools of need. And then also, this looks pretty safe. You would see that there's 2 caves. If there's mobs, you want to make sure you have an escape plan, so I wouldn't just leave it like that. You could get away this way. Make sure this is blocked up for if you decide to go like that. Baby zombie, go down here, cover it up, escape that mob, and yeah, take them out how you wish. I will cover going over mobs probably in the next episode, but let's finish this caving. So there's coal right here. Your 8, I would suggest, because 8 equals 8. So say you want to smelt this 10, it would take 8 of those away from the, like, 2 away. So it would cook all 8 of these with 1 piece of coal, and that would be very sufficient. Same with iron, unless it's cut clean. If you're playing a Reddit, like, once again, these are for vanilla scenarios. They're not for cut clean, not for bare bones. Those are completely different game modes. I might do UHC tips and tricks specials on those, like a bare bones. Let me set it to day. Like my rambling, it still would be day if I wasn't rambling on. So I'm just gonna get that away if I can show off that there's coal here. So you get this coal, that would be plenty enough for torches. I would suggest 8. So like I would usually save half for cooking and half for torches. Usually I use it mostly for torches because I just waste all my coal on it. And if you run out of coal and you can't find any, like there, pretend like there's no coal there, anywhere, you can't find coal. Well, what the heck? Let me load that in. You can always make charcoal. You can turn half of your wood. I wouldn't suggest it at 14. That's kind of waste. But if you're completely desperate and you need it, then go ahead. you can go through this cave. I would just suggest just like blocking it off, getting the iron. There's a ton of iron here. This would be more than enough. Torch this place up soon as possible unless there's mobs. And then in case mobs, you go like that. And then they can't get you usually unless it's a spider. Then I would suggest running because there's a lot of open space and there's water. So if there's a skeleton and a spider or even spider jockey, you can get stuck in this water and it will be horrible. Now gravel, you can get that if you wish. It just depends on how quick or how likely you think you're gonna find gravel. If you think you're not gonna find gravel in the caves later on when you need arrows because you need flint, grab it now as you wish, and maybe even find like a cave that's connected to this because there's a bunch of gravel. But usually I would pass it up because I like getting it later on. I don't see it as a grand necessity, and PvP wouldn't be on by this time anyway. So that's kind of a time waster when you need to get full iron, tools, and maybe even some gold. So now that we went that way, that we saw that there's nothing, but I almost passed this up. I found this cave. I kind of explored this previously before the episode, just to scope it out. So basically you would just run down here. Oh, look at some gold. Torches would help. That's 4, 5 gold. That's almost enough for a golden apple. Maybe run down here, look down here, some lava, fly through here. Always look at the ceiling. As long as you're below level 30, there will be gold, so they can be on the ceiling or anything like that. 6, 7, 8. There's enough for a golden apple, and then you have +3, so that's really good. Oh, look at some more gold. 2 more. I did not place any of this, by the way. I'm just getting lucky with the caves. So you would have an apple and a half. I wouldn't suggest making an apple right away unless you need it. Say you took damage. I usually don't eat an apple unless I'm down halfway or even more than halfway. Because I like to have the apple on me for absorption, unless there is no absorption. And then I'm probably saying that wrong because my braces. I'm sorry for that. But I like to keep absorption for a fight. So say I saw a name coming at me and I was 5 down. It's better that I ate it then and it had the absorption, so I'm basically at 8 rather than being at 5 with like no absorption. So there's more gold. There's plenty enough for another apple. You also can save for a head. Later on if you are confident that you can get some kills. And I think that's all for this episode that we're going to cover. Starting supplies. By now the caves are pretty simple. I might cover next episode about handling mobs, and I might turn even mobs on and handle this cave in a different fashion. But this ravine was pretty easy. I also might cover next episode saying how to staircase strategically. I can't really say that word that great, but if you aren't lucky and find a ravine right off the bat like me, you can staircase, and there's certain ways you can staircase using your headset, earbuds, whatever it might be, to your advantage. And also at certain levels the ores are best at. And yeah, so now you got full iron, all these supplies you should have after the PvP's on, full iron. And yeah, I've said the same word a couple times this episode. I'm sorry for that. I'm kind of rusty still. This is my 3rd upload since my break. I really hope you enjoyed this like the previous 2. If you did, I will put annotations on the left and right side of my face if I can remember to put them later. If I don't, check them out in somewhere on my channel. You will find UHC Tips and Tricks episode 1 and 2. This is episode 3. If you did enjoy, leave a like. And this has been ZomChris. Peace out.